Oogenesis is the topic of today. During development, the ovaries are mass of mesoderm that is developed from the mesoderm, derived from mesoderm. It get this is just a mass of mesoderm. This whole ovary is the mass of mesoderm. It is get invaded by surface epithelium. The surface epithelium is this covering, outer covering of the ovary, from where the cell proliferate and penetrate into the ovary like this in rows. The name is given sex cords, that is the epithelial sex cords as the name given, and that penetrate in it. Another variety of cell also invade the ovary, and that is the oogonia or the primordial germ cells, PGCs, primordial germ cells or PGCs or oogonia. They actually migrate from the wall of the primary yolk sac or the primary umbilical vesicle, which the new name is given. They migrate from its wall. So two cells invade this ovary from outside. One is this epithelial cells, which are immediately they are mesodermal, which surrounding the ovary, and the origin of the oogonia, which is derived from the wall of the yolk sac, and they are actually the ectodermal in origin. And oogonia that penetrate in the ovary, in this ovary. Now when they enter in ovary, oogonia, these cells of the sex cords, they start surrounding them. They break up, these cords break up and start surrounding the oogonia in this way. And this is no more remain as cords. Rather they start break up and cells start surrounding the, as arrow is shown, this one arrow, that cells they start surrounding it. So the primordial germ cells or primary germ cells surrounded by these cells of the sex cords, together name is given primordial follicle, primary follicle, primordial, before the primary stage. So it is get invaded by surface epithelial cells from sex cords. Oogonia migrate from the wall of the yolk sac, primary umbilical vesicle, inside the ovary. They migrate inside ovary. Oogonia gets surrounded by sex cord cells to form the primordial follicle. Now, process of oogenesis is the process. If you really ask SCQ, write about the oogenesis. It is the process whereby oogonia differentiate into mature oocyte. That is the from primordial follicle to primary follicle. Next stage is secondary follicle, and then is the tertiary follicle. Up to this process is known as oogenesis. That is the production of the oogonia and the process of the development of the oogonia. Oogonia differentiate into mature oocyte. Once primordial cells arrive into ovary, as we said, that oogonia, they enter in the ovary, they differentiate into oogonia, primordial germ cell differentiate into oogonia. There is some alteration in the shape of the nucleus and like this. Otherwise, no special alteration. Difference between the primordial germ cell and oogonia. The cells undergo a number of mitotic division. These cells, oogonia, which penetrate, say if they enter say 10 cells, then they multiply rapidly by mitotic division and increase their number in the ovary. Say they become thousands or hundreds or whatever. And these cells undergo number of mitotic divisions, and by the end of third month they are arranged in clusters surrounded by the layer of flat epithelial cells known as follicular cells. Follicular cells are basically the same as I told you sex cord cells. We surround them, and that name is given follicular cells. So they divide, and each one is surrounded by follicular cells. Follicular cells are sex cord cells, originate from the surface epithelium covering the ovary, sex cord cells. Many of the oogonia arrest their cell division. They start their division, and these cells division in prophase because previously they divide by mitosis and increase their number and the with diploid number, but they enter into the meiosis. But they so in when they start their meiosis, these cells say the cells when enter, they number is less. They by mitosis increase their number, and these cells now they start their phenomena of meiosis. When they start their meiosis, many of the oogonia that arrest their division in meiosis is arrested where? In prophase of meiosis 1 or diplotin stage. Very favorite MCQ which is asked that in at which stage oogonia they are present in the ovary. Now that is the diplotin stage, prophase of meiosis 1. They are present and they remain up to 50 years of age in this stage, diplotin stage. And diplotin stage, what is said, is the more stable stage as compared to the normal oogonia before to start prophase meiosis, prophase meiosis 1. Now, diplotin stage is more stable stage, and that may persist in this stage into up to the 50 years even. They settle or remain there. But after 35-year age of a female, there is the changes can occur. That is the denaturation of the DNA can occur in these cells and lead to the abnormal production of the children, which is like Down syndrome or others. So they are best before 35 years of age, but even they persist up to 50 years in this state. And but when they are arrested, that is also another MCQ. When they arrest in prophase of the meiosis 1 in diplotin stage, 5th month. At 5th month, they arrest their growth and settle in the ovary in this state. On the 5th month of intrauterine life, it is said to be diplotin stage of prophase 1 meiosis and is more stable stage to prevent denaturation of the DNA of the oocyte. That is the most stable stage. This arrested stage called primary oocyte. So oogonia starts its meiosis 1. In meiosis 1, the first substage is that is the prophase 1. Prophase 1 has further 5 substages, and the diplotin stage of prophase 1, when they arrest, the name is given primary oocyte in this state. During next few months, oogonia increase rapidly in number to reach up to 7 million. So there is so much division of the oogonia by mitosis before arrest stage. They undergo mitosis, and that is 7 million number is achieved. At this stage, many oogonia undergo death with the passage of time, and at 7 months, all surviving oocytes are surrounded by a layer of flat cell. The name is given primordial follicle. Primary oocytes remain arrested in prophase 1 of meiosis up to puberty. They remain arrested. This arrested state is produced by oocyte maturating inhibiting inhibitor. Now the question is that how they are arrested. Say we said that the oogonia, they are arrested in prophase 1 of meiosis in diplotin stage. Which is this factor which keep it in this stage or arrest the oogonia in this state? Actually, the surrounding cells, which the follicular cells, what we said, surrounding the oogonia, they produce a substance. Name is given maturation inhibitor, oocyte maturation inhibitor. From where it is coming? The surrounding sex cord cells or the follicular cells which surround the oogonia, they secrete this substance by follicular cells, and it inhibits the oogonia to further pass to enter into the metaphase of the meiosis 1. So this keep it in a rested state up to puberty. But it is for those which are selected for the further steps, while the other they remain in this state up to 50 years. So total number of the primary oocyte at birth, because many of them degenerate up to, and total birth weight there are 6,000 to 8,000, and 100 they are 4,000 they are present at puberty. 4,000 they are present at puberty, and out of these 500 will be ovulated. So at time of puberty, 14 years, there are only 4,000 are present, and out of these the 500 will be ovulated during the cyclic period, which extend from 14 years to 48 years or so, or 45 years, and even 48 years. Total eggs which are produced in each menstrual cycle, they are 500. That will be ovulated, because there are 12 cycles, say, in 1 year, and if you multiply it with 45 or 48, that become almost 500. 12 multiply. So rest of the oocyte remain dormant in diplotin stage of prophase 1 of meiosis up to 50 years. Those which are not selected for further maturation, they remain in this state. Primary oocytes are vulnerable to damage with increase in maternal age. Each month, that is the menstrual cycle, what do I say? Each month, 15 to 20 follicles they are selected from this pool. What is the pool present at the moment at puberty is 4,000. Out of these, the 15 to 20 follicles they are selected at puberty. Female begin to undergo regular monthly cycles controlled by hypothalamus, gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH produced by hypothalamus, which act on the cells of the anterior pituitary, which in turn secrete gonadotropins. What is gonadotropins? These hormones, follicle stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH. These are the two gonadotropins. These gonadotropins are two. One is the FSH and other is the LH. Now, they are under control of the pituitary, further under control of hypothalamus. Stimulate and the control the cyclic changes in the ovary. Each month, under the influence of FSH, 15 to 20 primary follicles they are selected. One of these follicles reaches full maturity and only one oocyte is discharged. So 15-20 are selected, but one undergo maturation, and that is ovulated or discharged from the ovary. Other degenerate. FSH also stimulate the maturation of the follicular or granulosa cells. Surrounding cell maturation, that is not only the oocyte but the cell which are surrounding it. Also, they get mature by the FSH. So FSH act on both the oocyte as well as surrounding cell, surrounding the oocyte. In turn, proliferation. These are the cells, granulosa cells surrounding the oocyte or follicle, that is also get mature under the influence of FSH, and this also follicle also get mature under the follicle under the FSH. In turn, proliferation. These cells is mediated by growth differentiating factor. FSH actually stimulate the growth differentiating factor 9, which is responsible for the proliferation of the cells, surrounding cells, and maturation of follicle. Flat epithelial cells, follicular cells, they are surrounding the oocyte, and inside is the primary oocyte. As primordial follicle begin to grow, surrounding follicle cell change from flat to cuboidal. This is one can say that these are the flat cells. These are the flat cells which are surrounding the oocyte. These below flat cells surrounding the. They become cuboidal in shape. They change the first change which occur. That become cuboidal. So a unit is called primary follicle. So difference between the primordial follicle and primary follicle is the primordial follicle, which are in a rested state in the ovary, are surrounded by flat cells, and these cells produce OMI, and which is secreted and keep this oocyte in its same state. Now they become cuboidal. When the cell become cuboidal surrounding, now new name is given, the primary follicle. New name given. And a unit is called primary follicle. Granulosa cells rest on basement membrane. Now these granulosa cells which are surrounding, they rest on this red basement membrane. They are resting on the basement membrane. Around them is the basement membrane, and cells they are proliferating and resting on. This basement membrane separate from the connective tissue, surrounding connective tissue of the ovary. This is the connective tissue surrounding the ovary. Basement membrane separate granulosa cell, this one, from the connective tissue cells of the ovary. Though these connective tissue cells, primary follicle, granulosa cell rest on basement membrane, separating them from surrounding ovarian connective tissue. Connective tissue organized into a capsule. It is just like a capsule which is surrounding the this all structure. The connective tissue organized into capsule. The theca folliculi. Name is given theca folliculi. This connective tissue which is surrounding, name is given theca folliculi. Theca folliculi. At the same time, the follicular cells and the cell membrane of the oocyte, they secrete a secretion. This both secrete a secretion. This wall of the cell and the granulosa cell. This both secrete a secretion which is collected around the oocyte. This one green. This is collected around the oocyte. Name is given zona pellucida. It is a glycoprotein coat surrounding the oocyte, that is the zona pellucida. From where the zona pellucida is derived, that is the secretion from the granulosa cell, secretion from the cell membrane, and that secretion becomes solid to form a glycoprotein coat and which is surrounding it, zona pellucida. Outer cell, which are the theca cell connective tissue cells, they are differentiated into two types, those inner cell and outer cell. The connective tissue organized into capsule, theca folliculi. This soon differentiated into theca interna. There is a picture which is shown that the primary oocyte it is not the primordial follicle. Basically, this is a primordial follicle A. This is the oocyte and surrounded by these flat cells. You can see this. These are the flat cells surrounded. And they remain in this state up to 50 years in this state. But follicular cells, these are the flat cells they produce. The oocyte maturation inhibitor factor, which keep the oocyte in this state of the diplotin stage of the meiosis one prophase, is a flat cell. When the cells are flat, name is given primordial follicle. They become cuboidal later on, and this cuboidal cell, when they become name is given primary oocyte. And this is the red layer is the zona pellucida, which is created by secretion from the cell membrane and the follicular cells, and this glycoprotein coat is present in between them. Granulosa cell, you can see over here, surrounded by basement membrane. This basement membrane all around, granulosa cell proliferate. They become stratified layer or multiple layer, and it is separated from this surrounding connective tissue of the ovary. At this moment, name is given primary follicle. When they become cuboidal and stratified layer, name is given primary follicle. Like this layer. Also, the granulosa cells and the oocytes create a layer of glycoprotein forming the zona pellucida. As follicle cells continue to grow, they continue to grow. The cells of the theca folliculi organize into inner layer of secretory cells, theca interna, and outer fibrous layer, capsule theca externa. Now, theca interna cells produce androstenedione and granulosa cell. These are, what is this? This is the precursors of the estrogen and progesterone. And granulosa cells convert these hormones to estrone or 17 beta estradiol, which is estrogen. As a result of this estrogen production, under the estrogen, the it on the there are special receptors present on the endometrium of the uterus to receive the estrogen, and uterine endometrium enter the follicular or proliferative phase. After the menstruation stop, that proliferative phase start, which is the estrogen phase, which continue from 5th to 14 days. Second is the thinning of the cervical mucus occur to allow the passage of sperm. Actually, the cervix has a thick secretion and sperm cannot enter into the uterus, but it causes the thinning of the cervical mucus and allow the passage of the sperm. Antrum, as we have seen over here, actually these are first small spaces which combine to form a big cavity, empty space. Now name is given follicular antrum. It becomes so large, this antrum become, because the cell that arrange at periphery, it is the arrange at periphery, and there is still a group of cell which is surrounding the follicle all around. This is surrounding the follicle all around. This group of cell is named given the cumulus oophorus. This name is given cumulus oophorus. It is nothing, it is the granulosa cell which immediately all around surrounding the oocyte. The rest they are lining outside the antrum. This is the lying in the antrum. This one. So they are it become two components. One is this lining of the this antrum. Second is which is immediately surrounding all around the oocyte. Name is given cumulus oophorus. So the spaces coalesce and they form the antrum and the follicle called vesicular or antral follicle. Now new name is vesicular means vesicle like or balloon like or antral follicle. The gradually antrum enlarge in size as I have shown. Granulosa cells surrounding the oocyte remain intact and form the cumulus oophorus. That is the cumulus oophorus. As this one. This one is the cumulus oophorus, which is remains, and this peripheral cells there. In between them is the antrum. At maturity, mature vesicular या Graafian follicle size is 25 mm in diameter. It is surrounded by theca interna, functional layer, and theca externa, capsule-like connective tissue. When secondary follicle is mature, a surge in luteal cells induces, that is when this stage actually approaches to 13 days or end of the proliferative phase. At that time estrogen stimulates the anterior pituitary to produce now LH, which induces the pre-ovulatory before ovulation, or ovulation occurs on 14 days, egg come out from the ovum. The pre-ovulatory growth phase, that is under now onward is the under the control of LH. Meiosis 1 is completed. Meiosis 1 now is completed. As previously we said, it was arrested in the diplotin stage of prophase 1. Now meiosis 1 is completed, resulting in formation of two daughter cells of unequal in size.